Over the last few weeks, you've seen me race Rotax Max with my kart on this channel a couple of times. And sometimes it went really well, but once or twice it went wrong and it suffered quite a lot of damage. But exactly how much is broken on my kart from Rotax Max and how much is it going to cost me to fix? That's what we're going to find out in this video. And in addition to that, we're going to do a full strip down and repair ready for the first GX UK race in just a few weeks time. So I'm going to give it a good clean right now and then we'll get started. So after coating the entire kart, not the tyres, in elbow grease, I then blasted it off as a starting point. Now that was obviously just a very quick preliminary clean, mainly just to get the mud off. That isn't remotely good enough to get this thing back and ready to actually race again. What we're going to need to do next is actually strip these components off because so much water and dirt will be stuck behind every single element on this kart. We'll do a proper clean using stuff that isn't water, and that's going to also allow us to start investigating all of the broken parts, making a pile of them and start pricing them up. So that's the next step. After giving the kart a blast with an air gun, I then used microfiber towels to dry as much as I could. So one thing that happened during those Rotax races was things vibrated off the kart. So I've got basically a bunch of random bolts and spacers holding on the side pods because they just kept falling out as the weekends went on. I've got things like a cracked Nassau panel. You can't see that very clearly here, thankfully, and that's because the sticker covers it up. I'm going to repair that because that is way too expensive to fit a brand new one. It's like hundreds of pounds, but that can be fixed. But already I'm finding things that over the course of a couple of weekends, I gradually had to repair on the fly, and we're going to obviously put them back to the correct kind of bolts by the time we rebuild this as a GX UK kart. So I'm going to carry on. Every stage of this kind of prep work is another opportunity to clean things, and it wasn't long before I found my first problem with the kart. Okay, trying to take the right-hand side pod off, I've already found a small thing that's broken that might cause me a big problem, and that is the bolt which holds on the back of the side pod bar. It's obviously been smashed against a curb or something, or maybe someone else's kart, and it's got quite a bend in it. I don't think that's going to come out, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get this off, but it might involve some grinding or drilling. The first of many broken bolts. So this stage is really just gradually stripping things off the car, taking all the nuts and bolts off that hold on the major components, and you can see here I'm just working on the axle at the rear. I've just begun working on the rear axle, so one thing which seems fine still is our sprocket carrier. The sprocket protector is absolutely mangled, so that's dead. I did buy that specifically for Rotax, it was a slightly different one anyway, but I'm going to clean this up. I want all these components to go back on the car as if they were brand new, all nice and shiny, not bent. If they're bent, we'll replace them. One thing I know which is definitely bent and broken is the rear axle, but fortunately we're not using this one for GX UK anyway because it's not inboarded. I don't need this Rotax rear axle anyway. And my inboarded one is safely stowed behind the toolboxes here. And for those of you new to the channel, in GX UK, the sprocket is on the other side of the engine, and therefore you need to have your rear sprocket inboard of the rear bearings, and that just means you need a different axle, or at least an axle with the holes drilled in a different position. And that's what I've got ready to go back in. So the axle actually came out very easily, and that's thanks to the prep work of my mechanics Josh and Kieran at the 2 Rotax meetings I did, and then it was time to inspect the bearings. I think you can probably hear this. These bearings sound absolutely knackered. You can see they're not really spinning very well, and they sound gritty, and that's not surprising because they've had 2 race weekends in Rotax Max where they've been under a lot of stress, but they've also been in a lot of water and dirt, so I think we need some new bearings. Changing rear bearings on a kart like this is actually really easy, so don't be afraid of it. Once you've got the bearing carrier out, all you need to do is pop the whole thing on an old axle. So there you go, I've done it there. I'm smashing the edge of it with a mallet, then it twists around, you turn it to the right position, and the bearing pops straight out, and it's as easy as that. And then it's just a case of cleaning it, ready to be refitted. So there are a few Rotax Max specific parts that I'm removing. Things like the chain guard here, and also some of the exhaust hangers. We don't need those, there's no point having them on there. They're just extra things in the way that are going to collect dirt and obviously add weight in a place we don't need it. So I'm going to remove all those. It's already looking slightly nicer on the rear end here. The front end is where the majority of the damage is. We haven't got that far yet, but I'm just methodically working through this, getting the kart back to a reasonably clean state. But I'm also checking for cracks in all of the key areas where you tend to find them after heavy use, like around the bearing carriers. So far, so good. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I really thoroughly cleaned this area, and that's the way you tend to find problems, but thankfully I didn't find any cracks. So at the rear end, this kart seems to be okay at least. Okay, so I'm onto the front end now, and this is where it gets a bit obvious what's broken on the kart. So the track rod was clearly bent. That's from the impact that I had at Forest Edge in the final. The moment I touched wheels with another kart, that immediately bent that, but it did some other damage as well. So the steering column here is severely bent. I'm hoping that's not done any damage to where the column mounts on at the bottom down here, but we'll find that out shortly. The kingpin bolt is also bent. I'm slightly worried that the damage is more severe than that. I'm not going to know until we put everything back on and we put some lasers on it, and then we'll find out exactly how bent this is and whether or not we need to get the chassis jigged. I mean, obviously, if I had the choice and it was quite easy, I would go and take the chassis to be checked, but it's quite far away. I don't really have the money. I'd rather not spend it if I can help it. So fingers crossed, it's not that bad. We're going to find out anyway. So now I'm going to dig into this front end, start stripping these pieces off. That's the next stage. Yeah, so this was a worry and it's causing me a problem. This kingpin bolt doesn't want to come out. It's really bent in there like a banana. I'm going to have to figure out a way to knock this out, but it's quite tight fitting and it doesn't want to go through the hole at that angle.
A few moments later.
Okay, so with the help of the mole grips, we did finally manage to get this horrible bolt out, and you can see just how bent it is here. And we can also start to survey some of the damage that this impact did to this entire corner of the car. My paint is definitely no longer pretty, and the stub axle here took quite a whack, but I think it's straight. I think the only thing that's damaged is where it impacted the chassis just down here. So actually, this might be okay. It's going back on, we're going to laser it. We might have saved a little bit of money here. If the stub axle has survived, that's a pretty big win because they're quite expensive. The next thing I did then was strip the steering column down, and we know that's broken. I think that's quite a severely bent steering column, don't you? That took quite an impact. So that is going on the dead pile. The ever-increasing dead pile. So we've got the steering column, the track rod, we've got a couple of bearings, fuel line, the fuel filter, we need to change that for GX UK, and a few other small bolts. Okay, now I can't tell whether anything else is broken until I've put this back together and stuck the lasers on it, and I can't put it back together until I've got the parts to put it back together. So let's head off to KKC, where I'll use the discount code UseMoreCurb and get some money off all the parts I'm about to buy. You can do that too. Remember, that discount code and all the other discount codes are in the description below, but they're generally just UseMoreCurb. So let's shoot down to Wilton Mill right now, pick up these parts, try and put this back together, and hope that it lasers up straight. Here we go. I made myself a little parts list, and this was everything I knew it needed for the moment. There was no way to tell before I put the thing back together whether there were other things that I'd also need, but you have to start somewhere, so I headed to KKC. It's my nearest kart shop, so it's very convenient, and the guys there always help me out, and if you use the discount code, you're also helping the channel. And we're back, and I've got pretty much all the things I need now to fix this kart, I hope, although that does depend on whether or not the chassis is bent. But there's one thing that I forgot to check, and that is that one of the wheels had the tyre ripped clean off of it at Forest Edge, and I don't know whether that wheel's damaged. I actually haven't checked it yet, because that would also be something that needs to be bought. Now, this is it here. I've just unzipped the tyre bag. It actually doesn't look that bad. I think this was sparking on the floor, but only a little bit of paint gone. I think this is okay. I think that the tyre actually protected it. I think it kept it off the floor enough, and then we were on the grass pretty quickly, so don't think we need a new wheel. We can get that tyre off later on, and we're going to be putting on the Vegas anyway, so those Mojos aren't going to be used again. All right, so let's start rebuilding the front end of this car. Obviously, we do still need to do the rear as well and put all the axle in, and we've got to get this ready for GX UK, but the front end is the area that's really damaged, and that's going to tell us whether the chassis is bent. So let's put that together and see where we are. So what that entails is camber caster pills need to go back on, along with the new screw, because one of those somehow got bent, and then the new kingpin bolt and the stub axles, and we're getting there. So I just put the new steering column in, and it didn't line up with the hole that it normally lines up with. Now I'm hoping that's just because, you know, things have moved, and I don't know, but slightly worried that means that the chassis is twisted. But I've managed to get it in, and it's fine. I've just loosened off this other bolt here instead, but that's a slight warning sign. But let's just keep going, and we'll see when the lasers go on. Yeah, let's just keep going and hope everything's completely fine. Now, as it turned out, I think the reason it didn't line up with the hole is because there's several things that bolt together, and if any one of them are out of position, then the whole thing doesn't line up. So it was actually fine, and as you can see now, it's all gone back together without a problem. Okay, lasers. So yes, lasers. This is a major milestone in this repair, but it's also quite a worrying one, because this is going to show us whether or not we have some serious damage or whether the car is actually fine. So I'm just adjusting the track rods, getting everything straight, doing the tracking like normal. Here we go, let's see. Now I consider this a bit of a miracle, but it seems to have lasered up dead straight. So I've set it up with half a box of toe out, just for a little bit more of a positive front end, but you know, we're talking tiny adjustments, but the chassis, by the looks of it, is not fundamentally bent, so it's a big relief. That means I don't have to go down and see Tony at ASR Fabrication anytime soon. Now, the lasers I was just using there are Lapta Now, I've used these for the last couple of years, and I think they are a really good and budget-friendly kart laser alignment tool. Now, every time I've lasered these up, then someone's come and checked with a more expensive version, it's always been exactly the same. So I think this is a good way to spend your money. I'm not affiliated with Lapta at all, but you never know, maybe by the time I post this video, I will have spoken to them and got a discount code for you. But if there is a discount code, it'll be use more curb. Try that, and fingers crossed, if you get yourself some of those, it'll be slightly cheaper. Right, front end is lasered up. And I did speak to the team at Lapta that very evening, and they kindly agreed to provide a discount code. So if you use more curb, you'll be getting money off of your new and improved lasers, which are now rechargeable. Let's get all this built back up now, and then we're going to go onto the rear end and get that rear axle in. So this is much more fun at this point because I know there's no more serious issues with the kart. I'm just rebuilding it to a standard that I'll be happy with, ready to go and race in GX UK. I'm no longer taking things apart knowing that they're going to have to go back together. Now we're just making sure everything's clean, everything's shiny, and everything's straight, ready to go racing. And I can't wait to get back into GX UK. And speaking of GX, here's my inboarded axle that we mentioned earlier. So I've largely put this back together now. The rear end is looking pretty good. I did forget to put the chain on, so I'm going to need to split the chain. And I know some of you guys hate when we do that, but we do. I'm going to split the chain, put it around here, get a sprocket on so I can then line the engine up. But for the moment, I'm just putting the bodywork back on, and I'm going to try and clean the tyre marks off the side pods, get rid of some of the nasty sticky stuff as well. We're getting onto some cosmetic things, so that shows that we're in a good place. And very soon, it'll be in a drivable condition. So I'm going to crack on. I'll see you at the end. You always think you're nearly there, and there's always 1,000 other things to do. And during this process, although I'm not going to show you each single detail, there were probably 30 things which just hold you up a little bit, screws which don't fit properly, tools that I put down and can't find again, but we've made progress. So although it's getting dark outside and I've been in here basically all day, we are finally now onto the stage where we can actually fit an engine. And I need to fit the engine in order to line up the chain, but I've forgotten to put the chain on. So I need to split the chain, get that on, and then I'm going to fit the engine, align the sprocket, and set the throttle cable tension. Then we just need some fuel line. When the engine's on, I can also judge the fuel line length and put the filter in, and then it's basically done. Well, don't get ahead of yourself, Brad. You've still got hours of work left to go. The daylight has beaten me. It's pitch black outside. I need to bring the ducts in. It'll be very quacky in here in a minute, so not really ideal for filming, but the engine is now ready to go on. So I'm going to do all of this in the morning. So I'll see you guys then, and we're going to finish off this build, the second rebuild of the year for this kart, but I'm really happy with where we are now. And although I've been off racing all sorts of fast karts since the last GX UK race, it's GX UK I'm most excited about because the racing there is incredible and it's the series that you guys seem to like watching the most. So let's finish off this kart in the morning. I'll see you then. Good morning, it's another day, and it's lovely and warm and sunny, and the garage is an absolute mess. So before I get cracking on the final part of this build, I'm going to tidy up massively and create a much nicer workshop space. So bear with me, I'm going to sort that out, and then we'll get on with the rest of this. You guys know how much I hate when things are dirty, and that includes the workshop. There we go, that's much better. Right, now let's get this engine on and make sure everything's aligned so we're ready to go testing. But we also can't drive this until we've got tyres on wheels, so I need to strip and fit some tyres. I'll show you how that works. We're getting close, it's looking good. The engine should just fit on easily with no issues. Okay, so I've immediately hit a problem, and that is that the engine doesn't fit on with the seat stay in its current position, and that's kind of to be expected because I had to change the seat stay when I put the Rotax Max engine on, and now it's just not in the custom position that I previously had it in for GX UK. So you can see here the chain guard mount is butting up against the seat stay, so I'm going to need to get a different seat stay out and try and reposition that and see if we can fit the engine on. So straight away it's become complicated. As issues go though, this is one of the easier ones. All I needed to do was fit a slightly shorter seat stay, reposition it, put a big spacer on so that it fits on the rear bearing carrier, and everything's good. And it's exactly where it was before, so that now fits. Now a lot of people don't bother with the right hand seat stay on a GX UK kart because of this exact problem, but I've tried to get around it because I just want the kart to be in the best possible condition with the best rear grip. So this is what I've done. I then needed to position the engine, get the chain tension correct, and I also used the laser chain alignment tool. It's invaluable. You'll notice I'm only using one sprocket protector. I put one on the right hand side, and that means I can easily get my chain alignment tool on whenever I want, just to check it's in exactly the right position. It was then onto the throttle cable. That's all correct, and we're ready for the next step. Here we go then. First fire up. I've blown the fuel through. Let's see if it goes. and that's all it needed. The brakes are all now nice and clean and free of rust, and it ran really well. That was a lovely first time startup. Thank you to Dan at GXT, who's rebuilt this engine over the winter. This is my practice engine. This is SPM, Super Pool Mullin. It's the one that I won the championship with a couple of years ago. It's going to be the backup engine for this year, because we've got a new one in the box at the back there. Right, I think the only two things left for us to do now are to get the wheels and tyres prepared, because right now I've got a bunch of Rotax rubber on my wheels that I need for GX UK. Speaking of rubber, I need to clean the horrible marks off the side pods, as well as the horrible residue that the number stickers that I had to use for Rotax have left on top of my lovely Zero that I won at the O Plate. Right, let's get this properly cleaned up, ready to go, and then we can go testing. What I actually did for the next half an hour was make a rev counter lead out of an old iPhone cable. You've seen all these cool purple 3D printed parts all over my car, which kind of make life easier and also protect things on the car. Well, one of the things that I really like from JB Kart Racing are these. These pop in the end of the fuel lines so that you don't get a load of dirt up inside your fuel lines when you're transporting the car with no engine connected. And I'll show you what I mean. I just pop this in the end like this, and then I don't need to have the engine on, nothing's going to go up the fuel line, and it just keeps it all nice and clean. And if you need anything from the extensive range of parts that JB Kart Racing make, then use the code USEMORECURB for 10% off. Okay, this is just a bit painful and time consuming. You're so lucky you're going to get to see this on a time lapse, because for me, I'm going to be down on my hands and knees doing quite an annoying, slow, laborious tyre changing session. But with the tyre tongs that I've got, it's not the end of the world. So all we're going to do is remove the bead retainers. We're then going to break the bead on each of the tyres. We're going to use the tongs to get them off. And no, I'm not going to do that Super 1 British Championship kart mechanic thing where they do it with their knees and they rip it off. It's just way too much hassle, and I don't want to hurt my hands. The tyre tongs are the way forward with this, particularly on these Maxxis whites, which have the hardest sidewall on the planet. So we're going to do that, get my practice tyres on the practice wheels, have the race wheels bare and ready for the race tyres, and then we're done. That's it. The kart will be ready to go and drive next week at Wilton Mill. And these new Vega tyres we're using in GX UK actually pop on the rims so much more easily than the Maxxis did, so that was a relief. And finally, it's finished. And that was not a small task. So changing this from a GX UK kart to a Rotax Max, and then back to a GX UK kart, you think it's just a case of putting a different engine on, but there's just so much more to it. And obviously the damage that running in a really high-powered, fast, aggressive series does to the kart is not insignificant. But it's now time to answer the question, exactly how much damage did it do? How much did it cost me to fix this kart? Well, I've got the bill here from KKC. Now remember, we didn't need to replace a wheel, so that's good, but let's do a little bit of a rundown right now of the major components. We needed to replace the rear axle, we needed to replace one of the front track rods, the kingpin bolt, the steering column, that one's quite important, rear bearings, fuel filter, and a couple of other small nuts and bolts. So in reality, not a massive bill. With the Use More Curb discount at KKC, that came to a total of £239.91. And fortunately for me, it didn't even cost me that much, because I just put my old GX UK axle back in, so I didn't actually need to replace the axle. If I was going Rotax racing again, obviously I would. But the kart is now ready to go and race in GX UK at the first race at Wilton Mill in April, and actually we've got a test coming up in just a couple of weeks' time there anyway. So I hope you've enjoyed this slightly different video this time, me in the garage here, you guys just hanging out with me, listening to some nice music and seeing my kart come back together again. It's a relief that she's fixed, and I'm really excited to go and race GX UK in 2026. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel, and if you really liked it, why not become a member and join us for some of our brilliant in-person karting events. You'll get early access to videos just like this one, plus a bunch of other perks. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Love you, bye. You were asking for duck content, so here they are.